Hey everybody, finally ready to go. A little bit of craziness today. We're filming stuff. We had a lot of filming yesterday. We got filming on Saturday, and then we leave on Monday for PGG Springs. So it is a lot of stuff going on. I like that soda. I hope everybody's doing well. We have really been swamped. There's a lot of work and there's more things, and I have emails that are still outstanding. I had a very busy day today so far. So I hope tomorrow I will be able to do a bunch of work so that I don't have to worry about all of the things over the weekend, since we have to pack still, and we usually pack early, but we have just been so busy. I am going to work on the Marvel United stuff again, but I am absolutely contemplating. I mean, I want to keep painting Marvel United. I have so many to do. The real goal was to be done. Now, I don't know when they're going to deliver, but I saw that the new Multiverse Marvel United, and heck, the other one's going to go in June. I think I need to get on an account on GameFound. I don't believe I've actually backed anything on there. So, hey, Zako, I don't think I had any an account on there, and I kind of wanted to get the Two-Face coin. I am probably going to back it, and I guarantee it's going to be more expensive than even the last time. So I don't know. I mean, I'd like to have some DC stuff too. I mean, I'm just going to go down that darn path, and I don't know that I really want to do that, but we shall see. They are they're fun. I don't know. The problem is ultimately I have so much stuff to paint. I actually will probably start to get rid of some of these things sooner rather than later because it's just so much stuff. Anyway, let's cut to the down cam. I had some weird issues with stuff today. Technical stuff. Like here, it's very odd. The paint stuff has been really weird. Let's see if I can get the right camera going. And then I'll cut. Hey, exciting. Okay. I was working on Blade last time. I only worked on his face and his hair. But I'm going to continue with that one. Notice that oh, I'm sorry, you can't really see it. They're slightly different shading. I was talking about how difficult it is to actually replicate that. For me anyway, at this point in time with an airbrush. I've never been, I mean, I've been painting with an airbrush forever, but I've never been 100%, because I've been doing two things that are identical in quotation marks forever. And I couldn't, for the life of me, there was one painting I was doing back in the day that just was not, it looked close enough. I mean, probably for me that was the biggest issue, but it's still kind of frustrating. Let me see now. I have nothing prepared color-wise. I know that the jacket, oh, I want to look at the photos. So as I've been saying all along, I use the images that they created when they did the, wow, where are those at? I think they're down below. Or they're underneath, it's terrible. So when they did the Kickstarter, they show, now, they especially now do all the painted minis, and I save those images because, oh, there it is, I can see it down the right. The Mac is my favorite thing. I'm not signed in. Hey, this happens every time. Yeah, not every time, but every so often. Google is particularly weird on the Mac. Okay, sign back in. Hooray. I wish it would. I can't keep this password. That's the problem. You know, I can't keep this password in the browser. Goodness, what was I talking about? Oh, but I saved the images. So I feel it's really worth it to, oh gosh, Scott's on. Everybody's, everybody's been chatting too. That's been the biggest pain in the neck for me. I mean, I love it, you know, but it's fun to chat. But I have just had so many things to do, and because we're editing some stuff. We're doing, so we have a lot of episodes coming. I mean, we've filmed a ton, which has been great. We really need it, but we are running behind getting them all done, and. I'm trying to have a backlog. So a few months back, I think in March, we had an episode that we messed up something. It's funny. So we played the game many times beforehand, but then Nikki had something, and I don't think we had a legitimate English translation of the game. It's the Silver and Gold Pyramids. And so she was using a translation that seemed weird. I think I can't remember what the deal was. And I even asked her during the video, I'm like, oh, you know, like, really? And so after the fact, I was like, if you have any questions, you should always check in. And we should. But I thought, you know, Nikki spent a lot of time looking at it, so I thought she had it figured out. But anyway, so we had to pull the episode down. We didn't have another episode in the queue to go live because we were not in town. We were in Dallas. So I don't ever want that to happen again. So the goal is to try to have a bunch of stuff lined up in the queue all the time, which we should. It makes it, my gosh, everything is getting all like sign out, I mean, so we play pinball and we use the Stern Insider app, and we know some people at Stern, and man, I got to tell you, I cannot stand this app. For me anyway, it's constantly signing out. And Scott's like, download it, delete it and download again, right? And I did all that, and it still hasn't worked. Hey Scott, how you doing? I did reinstall it, Scott. It did not solve the problem, which is a downer. So every time I go, so I've saved it to my wallet. So I have, I should actually download on the Apple iPhone too, but I download it to my phone, to the Google Wallet, and you know, that works. But it would be nice if it was constantly going. So anyway, I'm constantly logging in and out of things because everything's just weird lately for me. But yeah, we've heard some things that have been happening to websites, and it's not great. And I don't know how. I mean, Scott has to work on that stuff all the time and keep it from causing issues, because we use Google Cloud, and I saw a report about some investment fund in Australia, maybe is what it was, that got deleted, and the company had a backup, thankfully, someplace else. But Google, you know, I guess unless you pay for that backup, which sounds to me like something like that, I guess you should be paying. And so, you know, restoring that would be frightening, and I can't even think about it. It's terrible. So yeah, how do you accidentally that was Google somehow accidentally deleting it. So you're thinking, wow, you know, I trust Google and Apple's services, and I'm frightened. I'm frightened now. But anyway, so yeah, we went and played some pinball yesterday when we had James Hudson over. That was fun. He was, we had a really good time. We played a couple of new games. We played Skyrise, which is a redo of Metropolis. Did I bring that back in the house? I don't think I did. Or maybe I did. We have the original game, but we got the new one. And it is really cool. Really cool. I mean, it's from Roxley, so it's crazy produced. What pinball did I play? Well, I played, so Scott doesn't have the time to go for the badges that I do, and I'm not that good, but I've made attempts. So the neat thing about Insider Connected is they have achievements, and here, let me see if I can show you. I'll cut to me. They have achievements and badges that you can gain. So badges are usually some sort of a campaign thing that they're, you know, want you to come in and do. And so right now, Jaws is the well, it was the new game at the beginning of the month, but since then they have now announced John Wick. But they let you, I guess I want to go back down to the table, but so you collect them, and so right now they have a quest for Jaws, and it is a new game. They have a bunch of quests, and I am an okay player. But I played a bunch, well, not a bunch, several Jaws. We had to get back, so we ate lunch and then came and filmed. And now I want to go back. So the issue is one of the achievements is play 10 days. And I have only done 2 so far for this month. Now, I still have lots of time if I want to try to make that happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. But let me cut back to the table. So yeah, we've got, let's clean the phone here. It's a little, the case is not great. So they have scan and play any Jaws game and score 20 million points and earn this badge. This was earned 200 million cumulative. Now, I don't know how many games I played, but it took a little bit of time to get to 200 million. So the neat thing is they've changed this. A couple months back they had, gosh, what were the 2 games? They had, what were they? They had Deadpool, and there's National Burrito Day, and a Venom. And they did not tell you where you were at. Like, they didn't have the cumulative score. So thankfully, they now changed that. This is what just play the game multiplayer. You know, a couple people playing standard game. That was fun. There's also a cooperative modes and stuff on some of the machines. This one is just do a game and get 75 million. This one is the one play 10 days. This one's the one I do not think I could get. I am not that good of a player. Oh no, I did this one, 500 million. I did this is the one yesterday that happened. This one is play 5 games on Memorial Day weekend, which is it Memorial Day weekend? I guess maybe it is. I can't remember the movie now. We just watched it. I thought it was 4th of July. And then this one here, do 20 billion in Jaws during this badge. I'm only at like roughly 600 million, so I have a long way to go to do that one. So I don't think I'm going to do it, but I have fun trying to get them. Some of the ones you can do easily. Some of them are, just log in and play. But these are some crazy ones. There's also some stuff for them. So those are the Jaws ones. Oops, I should have done that. They don't have this stuff, the app totally put together well. But they have a Star Wars leaderboard, which I don't have Star Wars, and they don't have Star Wars. Maybe you could play, you're a Star Wars machine. So yeah, we don't have that at the nearest place to us. Here's the seasonal quests. So they had one that was play 3 games from this designer. Scott has one machine, I think, of his, and I have one. I have got the Monsters. But you need to play 3 different ones. And I don't know the locations, if there's enough of those to do that. This one was just play 20 games in a million. This one's play on May the 4th. Now read this. Play Star Wars or The Mandalorian on Star Wars Day. We went to the local place. May the 4th between 12 and 1 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. CST. Oh, there was another one earlier this month that I tried to do, and it turns out it was Central Standard Time at 10, which means 8 o'clock our time, which I completely missed it. But this one doesn't say anything about score. Nikki played this with me, and she did not get this badge. And I did because I got 100 million on the game. We played 2 games, and some other guy was trying to do some crazy scoring, and so we asked him if we could play for a couple games, and I was confused why because my first play I had a terrible play, and then the second one I did better on. But yeah, the badges are neat, and then they have achievements within the game. Each game that you play has, I guess I could show you that real quick. Each game that you play has, so these are milestones. These are, let's see here. Oh yeah, I played Rush. That's the one. I played Rush yesterday. That's what they have over at the place. And that's another John board game. So, I've barely done anything on, this is Rush, so I have not played the game that much. I actually like it, but I don't know anybody that has the machine, and they have a limited edition one at that place. Let's go to the other games and see. I've played a lot of Elvira, and of course the Monsters, we have that game. Let's look at Elvira. I think these are in order of release. So yeah, they tell you, I've done 60 of 69 achievements. That's not a lot of achievements. But they show you this. So these green ones are ones that you do on a certified location. Like a bar or whatever. Our place is a Korean barbecue place that has pinball. So then these are played on ones that are not a location machine. So you get more points. I don't know the difference, but you get more points for ones that are green. And that's just experience, and I don't know what experience is going to give you. But there's all kinds of stuff. They're fun. This is one I played a lot. And I basically feel like I've kind of maxed out on a couple of those games because I've played them a bunch. But it is awesome, and I really love that they've done some really fun stuff. The one thing I wish that there was more were things like challenges between friends and stuff like that, and maybe they'll get there. It's actually already much more fun than it used to be. The achievement, the badges have made that a lot more fun. So let's see here. I'm going to paint his jacket. It is a lighter gray than the previous one. Have you sold the house on Elvira? Oh no, I've never gotten that far. I've done really well on it. I did, really well for me. I had like 800 million points on that game, or I thought it was closer to 900, but then I was talking to a common friend of ours, Keith, and I said I think I got 900 million. Then I looked, I'm like, no, I didn't. I was just over 800, I think. But that was a pretty amazing game. I had like a ball too that was just out of control. And I don't think I've sold houses. As a matter of fact, I think it would show it in the achievements, and I haven't done that yet. I mean, you know, I'm just getting better at actually making shots I'm trying to do rather than just flying all over the place with the shots. And I'm doing better, but it's hard. And each machine is different. I've played the identical, theoretically in quotes, machine at several locations, and they are different. They are constructed, you know, slightly different. I mean, that's part of the neat thing about them is they are largely analog machines. You know, it's physical stuff. But I definitely want to play more of that. I mean, it's fun. We don't go over there often enough. It's very inexpensive. James was saying to us that he goes with his son, and they play, and it's $1 a game. He goes, $20 goes fast. I'm like, what? And because our store is 50 cents a game, which is very low, I think, nationwide. So, but yeah, we have fun. Nikki enjoys it, which is great. She's not as crazy as I am, but she still has a good time. But yeah, badges are fun. They kind of have a level of dedication to complete them that I sort of am interested in, but not that crazy. Excuse me, burping. Soda, that's what I get. Let me get the paint I need. So I'm going to use the Basilicanum Gray again, which is one of my favorite paints. So I had done Punisher. This one was okay. Where these are the gray, and to me this was a leather jacket, and I feel it looks right. I mean, when I was studying art school and design, you know, they're like, black is never black. You know, it's very rare that black is black, and so some of these colors are just so dark that they're not legitimately, well, they're not what you would see in normal life. Now, of course, these are comic book things, and that's why I use the paint jobs. But they have this one be with a lighter color, so it may be some sort of I don't remember actually. It's been a long time since I've seen the Wesley Snipes blade moves. I don't think I ever saw the third one, but I definitely saw the first two. And oof, I'm gonna knock that soda down, which I don't want to. It is delicious. But yeah, I feel like it would have been leather jacket. Been a long time. Now, I don't know that they use that as the template in their minds of what he looks like. They're probably more comic book related. But so yeah, we're looking forward to going to BGGCon. Ugh, I just dropped it on the mat here. It's the reason why you have silicone or something to capture the stuff. We are not going to be there. I mean, Scott was asking, you know, like, because we're only there a week, and the convention is now longer. It used to be Thursday through Monday. It is now Wednesday through Monday, and then we leave. The crazy thing is usually our flights are like, they used to be the same time going and the time leaving from Los Angeles and the time coming back from Dallas, and they are different. And now, so we try to fly nonstop, and the flight that we have, this coming flight, leaves at about 2 in the afternoon and heads back to Los Angeles at the same time, which is weird. They never do that usually, and we usually try to go to the later one, but it is not happening. They don't have that flight. So we're also flying into a different airport, so that's one reason why some of the changes, but some of that stuff shouldn't be an issue, but it is. And there's a pizza place near there that we don't go to. We go a lot lately because we've flown out a lot, but we can't go on the way there because the pizza place opens too late. But on the return flight, since we're coming back so early, hey, I do not see what this is. Oh, you know what? I never tested it. Guys, got it. Anyway, let me see if I can see. I think that was it. Ripleyana. Thanks for the follow, Ripleyana. But yeah, Hey, Matthew Rose. Do you remember me when I stopped you in the hallway before you got at the food area? I think so. Was this the long hallway in the pinball area there? We did not play, I don't think we played any pinball, even though we wanted to, we just didn't have the time. How you doing, Ripley-Anna? I'm painting Marvel United minis today, so I'm working on Blade. I already started him last, so we were supposed to stream on Tuesday for game night, and we did not get to because I filmed the BGG show that we did this week, so it was kind of a bummer. Oh, that was you. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. I hope they do that again, but I kind of doubt that they will. Hey, I need to have the kind of glasses that let me see real close. I'm nearsighted, but goodness gracious, even well, obviously your eyes change and they get, what do they say? They're your old eyes. Yeah, I don't know that they would bring that pinball back, but it was awesome because they had a lot of great machines. They had a good amount of Stern and quite a few Jersey Jack. That was another game we played yesterday, which we really liked that one. The Elton John one, the new Elton John from Jersey Jack. That one was nice. And they had the music loud at that location. That was pretty funny. Now we couldn't hear Jaws very well, or Jowls, as a lot of people, including James, said. It was pretty funny to us. Jaws is a really neat machine. The one that they have another location in Van Nuys, which is across the valley from us a bit, and they have not only the Pro edition of Jaws, they also have the limited edition one. And we played. They only have the Pro one at the location nearest, but I actually really had a good time on it. It is, those other machines are, like the limited edition ones are usually limited, or the premium are pretty complex, and they have more stuff going on in the machine slightly. Like they don't get rid of stuff entirely, but there's usually like an upper level that they don't have, and on if they have an upper level that they don't always they don't usually replicate that for the Pro version, but because on Jaws there's the Orca, which is Quint's boat, Robert Shaw, and wow, I touched that and I should not have. And it has an upper playfield that shifts, I think. Maybe not. That's probably another game. But hey, it's not focusing. They don't have that on the Pro one, but I had a really good time. It has a ramp that goes up to essentially the same would be that area, and it does register Quint stuff, but you just don't have the kind of crazy stuff that goes on the upper level. But it's a fun machine. We also played. James played Godzilla. I think Nikki and I both played Rush. And boy, that's a lot of paint. My painting history has slipped there. Using inks. That's what I used to do stuff like this with. Now they call it shade at Games Workshop, and shades. And then this is contrast paint, so it's something entirely different, but it kind of functions similarly. But I know we played some more, but we didn't go crazy. So we actually lost some money on one of the machines that didn't, one of the coin, gosh, what do they call those? Where you put the coins in to play the machine. One of them was jammed. It wasn't initially jammed. I think I got 1 quarter in, and then 2 more or 3 more of them did not go. I was trying to push the other ones through, and then I'm like, okay, I give up and went on the other one, and it was fine. And of course, it was a game that cost 75 cents, which the Jersey Jack machines cost 75 cents because he does that because they're so they are kind of expensive. Like Stern machines start at like $7,000, which is not cheap, but it is when you think about the cost of some of the machines. And Jersey Jacks start at like $12,000. But it was still a great machine. I really had fun with it. Are you going to Gen Con this year? I am absolutely going. We are. I mean, we have some things that. Oh my gosh, I have a meeting I have to do. Speaking about that, but we are definitely going. We have the Hot Games room. I'm not sure all that is going to be happening at the event, but we're looking forward to it. And we have well, I've just started setting up some meetings. I'm sure we'll meet with GameGenic again. And then it's also, Nikki's birthday always falls at the time for that con, and then my birthday generally is right around BGG fall. It's either during or just before, often, because it's the weekend before Thanksgiving, most of the time. But we are definitely looking forward to going. So that's one of the, we actually kind of only, well, we have this trip coming up, so we still have 4. But we have that, we have BGG Spring, Gen Con, and we leave a little early because we're going to go to Dallas first. And then we go to Spiel, that we're planning on going. We have not bought tickets yet, which we should. We were trying to confirm that that's what we wanted to do. I mean, we want to go. It's definitely worth going. It's not, we had lots of meetings, and we actually had some good meetings for the BGG side of things, which is awesome. But it's hard, right? That's a long trip. Plus my mom. So my mom had a big trip planned. I'm really sad. She had to cancel it because of some family stuff, my aunt. And so they were going to go to Rodney Smith's neck of the woods, I think. I don't know that they were going to Prince Edward Island, but they were going to that area. We have a cruise, BGG cruise, going that area too. And I would have loved to. They were going to no, it can't be. That's not the fall color one. Was that another one that they're planning on doing? I don't know what this one is. Oh, you know what? The BGG cruise one is fall color. My mom and my aunt were going to just go do sightseeing. They had a goal to do all the 50 states. They've not gone to Puerto Rico, but they did go to, not that Puerto Rico's state yet, but they've already done that, so they're doing other things. They have gone to Europe and did a lot of stuff. I think they were gone for quite a few weeks. It was pretty impressive. And that was, my mom's gotten a lot older since then, and so she can't really get around as easily, so it is a bummer. I mean, she's probably not going to be able to take too many more trips like that. And she did get kind of a walker for the trip, and it was excited that she was going to use. I mean, she still has it, so she'll use it probably for some stuff, and she'll have it to be able to use it. But San Antonio, you should come. Have you not been to the con, Matthew? It is really good. Oh, the God Conference. Yeah, the BGG Con is great. The spring one is a little less crowded, and it is at the airport. And then the one in the fall is downtown at the Hyatt Reunion Tower. Goodness gracious, what is it? Can you see his shirt? Obviously you have to make some interpretations for these things. There you go. That's like a blue shirt. Interesting. But BGCon's cool. And the one, so tickets are available for BGCon Fall is generally more crowded. I don't know. I think we came very close to selling out. So 2019 was the last BGCon for the pandemic. And that was a huge con. We had, gosh, was it our first one at that hotel? I think it was. Our first one at the hotel, new one downtown. We had been doing them all at the airport one. And it was very big. I don't remember, I really wish that would come out of there. But we've scaled it back down to just like grow back to, you know, make sure that we can handle it all. A lot of good people on the team that handle that stuff. It used to be that I had to do a lot more work for the con. You know, things have changed a little bit for sure. We don't do as many, so we used to do things like, gosh, every night there was, back in the day, there was a Guitar Hero or Rock Band, and some big fans of that. And other types of events like that that actually required us to work on that. And then I don't remember, I mean, I'm willing to definitely help, but basically it kind of, they didn't need me as much. And then of course, actually really what happened was we stopped running that essentially, or we do it one night, and so it wasn't as much. And then there was a little bit more. I remember Scott Anderson would help run it, and then John Thays, who's one of the organizers that helps run the event, he got, you know, to where he knows his stuff. I just knew the tech, and we used to kind of hook up. Wasn't to a PA though. I don't think. Well, we did have a PA for some stuff. I don't think we did Rock Band. I feel like Rock Band was done through the theater PA that we put that in, it was interesting. So it's like, it's at the airport. Gosh, I haven't been in that room in forever. It's at the airport hotel. And I miss Rock Band. I actually had a lot. Now, I didn't really play. The funny thing is I didn't play it that much, even though I like Rock Band. I mostly just loved watching the other people do it. It was great. Some people really had fun with it. I am running out of paint. Well, I mean, I have more, but I need to make more. And I didn't have an exact formula, which I should have. Yeesh. So yeah, you want to, when you're doing this, you want to just really slop it on, but this one is, you know, this is a large surface, so the more you can, see, I'm getting things like this, which that is something to do with the paint itself. Here's the deal, I didn't actually clean the palette that I'm using, and I should have. That could actually be part of the problem. But you want to work in areas. Now, you can see here there's a seam, and I've done an okay job of doing that. Because if you work with this area, it changes the angles, so you can have your inconsistently painted stuff sort of concealed by just having it in a different plane, essentially, right? Different angle. But yeah, this is a fun convention. I do wish we were going to be in Dallas a little bit longer. I mean, we were just there, but my mom does not, she's really not doing great. And this trip is really now a bummer. This happened just the other day. My mom told us, I think, maybe she told me on the phone. I mean, there was some things that happened, and that was enough to make it questionable that that the trip was going to happen, but it's definitely now not happening. And my mom, you know, it's one of the few things she does in the year that she was looking forward to. So I don't know. I feel bad for her. You know, oh my gosh, my mom's like 78. But Dave's mom, my goodness, she just had her birthday in the end of April, and she is 96, and she's amazing. I haven't seen her for a few years, but she's just got all the energy in the world. I think her mother lived a long time as well, but Dave goes and visits his mom. His dad passed away last year, and so he goes and visits. He stayed up there during the pandemic because he knew they were going to need help. I was crazy. He actually was kind of aware of what was happening faster than I was, even though I knew, hey, this looks like his jacket's got wrinkles and stuff in it. So I guess it is leather. Well, I mean, cracks, not wrinkles. But yeah, he left before we were actually planning on filming with him. Derek was in town, and we were going to film some game night stuff because it was after Gamma Trade Expo, which used to be up in Reno. And Dave just basically, he went, and he somehow got a COVID test. I didn't even know they had COVID tests at that point in time, but he got a COVID test so he could make sure his parents wouldn't get sick from him. And then we basically didn't see him for 6 months. I think he came down to take care of some stuff around the house, and then he went back up. So it was around Christmas time, I think, in 2020 oh no, that's not true. We had Deborah and Aaron and Dave and Nikki and I had all gotten together to play outside and to consider filming outside. And I believe that was 2020. I mean, I have a picture. I'm pretty sure it was, because we actually took a picture with our plaque that we got from YouTube, and Deborah took the shot. And that, I believe, was in October 2020. So we did see Dave then, and then I think he came back down for another few, like a week. So yeah, it's just tough. We're all our folks are getting older. Let's see here. I'm loving the painting. I see Ripley said this a long time ago. I love the painting. I wish I had a little more time. I do look forward to maybe being home for a few, like almost 2 months, I guess. We're not really home for 2 months. And then we sort of have a couple of those things. We have that, then we go to Gen Con. As I say, we're going to go to Dallas a little bit early for a few days beforehand. And then we kind of have about 2 months, month and 3/4. And then we go to Spiel, and then we have about a month, and then we go to BGCon. So it is a lot of travel, a lot more than I kind of ever realized until we're in the thick of it. But Scott has projects, and I would love to work on them. I am definitely, one of them I have been pushing him to do, and I think he is getting the idea to finally do it. So, but we have to organize his game collection, which is like, I mean, it's a never-ending job here. I can't give him any slack for it. Credit, guff, not slack. I can give him some slack. But his collection is just constantly growing. Ours is not exactly as fast growing, but he needs to make room in the storage that he has there, and so that's a project. And we won't have time. The real downer is we're there for a little over a week or about a week, but we get there, and then in the evening on Monday, and then I think Tuesday we go to the hotel. So, afternoon. So we're not gonna have a ton of time. It's really a bummer. I do, in that regard, I mean, I would love to live closer to Scott. If we were really serious about it doing it, we should have done a long time ago when housing was affordable. It is not affordable in Dallas either anymore. I mean, seems to me like it's the same kind of numbers as it is here. Oh, that's drying a little more smooth. There's still little dots, but I don't think I can. I don't know, it's weird. This music always makes me think of Vegas. We don't go that often. We went for a few years there, kind of regularly, to meet with Scott and Michelle, but it got crazy there. So we would go Thanksgiving time, and we started to go a few times, like 4th of July weekend. We actually had a really kind of terrible trip for one time for that, and the funny thing about it was, you know, Nikki didn't love the drive. It's like 4.5 hours if we're doing well, I think. And after that trip, she's like, I will not complain about driving anymore, because it was just terrible. I think we were supposed to arrive into Vegas before Scott and Michelle, and we didn't get there till well after them and after dinner. And we had delays, and we were on the tarmac. It was just terrible. But I always think about it when I hear this stuff. And I miss certain things about it. I'm not a gambler, and I'm not a drinker. So for me, it was just to hang out and then see some of the shows and eat some of the cool restaurants. There's all kinds of really great food, and that's one of the greatest things, I think. I mean, here's the reality, though. Dallas has some fantastic restaurants. We have some fantastic restaurants. I guess the reality is they're all close to each other in Vegas. That's probably the one thing you don't have so much of in Los Angeles. I mean, there's definitely plenty of great places, and so you do have clusters of it, but I don't know that you would get the same level of excellence. But I do miss it some. We did go in, oh goodness, I guess it was 2019. So that was the last time I think we went to Vegas. Our friends Annie and Sebastian came in. They had done a trip once before, and they went through the desert on a horse with no name. And they, you know, they wanted to see the Grand Canyon, things like that. They had a great time. But the second time they came, they were doing some other stuff. They love the national parks, and so they went to Vegas first, and so we went with them. We drove there with them and then flew home, so we had a one-way flight back, and that was fun. Different hotel than we ever have stayed at. We don't really, I mean, we've been quite a few times now, I guess, but we only had ever gone once before we had done that stuff with Scott and Michelle, because I went to a was it sort of, I guess it was hospitality, but it wasn't that. It was like hospitality, you know, like hotels and a convention that you would buy furniture and decorations for that. And that was actually sort of a work trip. And we met one of my friends from work there, and we had a really good time. And it was our first time. So we're like, I mean, in ages. I'd gone with my dad a long time before that. Like whenever we went on a trip, he kind of wanted to stop there and foolishly gamble money. And but that was the first time I'd been in a very long time. And so I think it was the bird flu was going on at that point in time. And so we were like, wow, we're in a crowd and all these, you know, how quaint. Okay, well that looks pretty good. The cracks are kind of weird. You know, that's the injection stuff. Hey, Circe, how you doing? Wow. My computer just, also known as Siri, just responded to me. That's pretty funny. That is funny. I don't use the Macs that much. And that would be one reason why, the weird things it does. Oh, you know, I was saying, I'm sorry, I got distracted. You want to work quickly on these larger, smoother surfaces with a lot of paint. And as you can probably see, I'm running out of paint again. Because then you can avoid too much splotchiness. I'm only doing okay here, I see, but I'm sorry, you can't see that. But you get much smoother results. And then you wick up any paint that is in the fold so it doesn't have too much in there, so you don't get what some people call coffee staining. I actually was watching some British YouTuber painting, and he was calling it, actually I think, so I watch a couple folks that used to be at Games Workshop, and they call it something else, and I don't know if it was the accent, but I didn't know it, and I'm like, huh. But I kind of want to pay attention more. I did not really get to pay attention. I'm doing well. How you doing, Circe? Oh, I see. You've responded to me. There you go. I've lost my track. Doing really well. We're just busy. We've done a lot of filming. The episode that came out today, which is Harmonies, was a one that we were very excited to do. We actually are doing another video for BGG for that. And Nikki wanted to play it before she did the other video. And so we filmed that with Brian and Mike. And we filmed some other games. I think we filmed 2 other games with them that day. And then we filmed like 5 games with Dave and Mike maybe the week before. Or maybe that was before we left for... I can't remember now. And then we filmed with Deborah. So I think it was before, because we filmed with Brian and Mike, and then we filmed with Deborah and Rusty the following week, and that was first time we'd played with either of them in many months, because Deborah was away filming Deadpool, not Deadpool, I wish it was Deadpool, that'd be awesome, Daredevil, and Rusty has been just busy. His work is just crazy. And so we had a really great time seeing them. And then we filmed yesterday. I think we didn't film last weekend. We had planned to, that's right. So the plan was to have Aaron over to film. So his father's having health problems as well. As a matter of fact, there was a medical procedure today, I believe. So we expect to hear from him. So we're actually hoping to film with him and Dave. So Dave was busy. He was staying in the Bay Area for Mother's Day. And he wasn't really gone that long. He was there for his mom's birthday, and then he changed his, I guess he had planned to come back a little earlier, but he changed his plans. And so he came back on Tuesday, and then we filmed on Wednesday. And we only filmed 2 games that day, because partly was Dave had, one of the reasons he was here because he had an appointment with the cable company. And other things he needs to do once, at home. And so we were waiting for that to be done. That was why we were having lunch and playing pinball, because I set everything up pretty much before we left, and then as soon as Dave was free, we were going to get together. And he was waiting for us a little bit. I felt bad because we had a game, games going, and of course when that happens, you end up playing really well. Not that I was playing that well. And then, so now, hopefully we film with Aaron on Saturday, and we are only probably going to get to do 2 games, if we're lucky, on that one too, because one of the games we're doing is probably quite long. And it was probably going to be okay that it was just 3 of us, since Dave was going to be busy last weekend, but he's in town, so he's going to be involved. It's a game we've played before. We're playing a new expansion, which is very exciting. Not new, recent expansion. People have been asking us to continue. The next Dallas convention is, so it starts next Wednesday, the 22nd, and it ends on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th. I guess that's right. Seems wrong. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's Tuesday, so I think maybe the con starts, I don't know. Maybe it's even longer than I thought. I hope that's not the case. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I'm saying, cancel, Siri. Cancel. What's it doing? I need to turn the mic off. Wow. How do I mute the mic? I've never had this many troubles. Let me look at my phone. That'll tell me. Exactly. Wow, is it doing it again? Nope, new song. That's how I know things are like sort of going well. My brain is not processing this well. So we get there on the 20th. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5, 6. Is it a 6-day con? I thought it was 5 days, so maybe it's now 6. Wow. I'm confused. I'm pretty sure I got a notification. Actually, I think I got badges. I got my badge. Let me look. 1 week. It says Thursday, May 23rd. Oh, we're not quite as crammed as we thought. Thursday, May 23rd to May. So we do get there on Wednesday night. Oh, it's not as bad. I was thinking I was having 0 days helping Scott with stuff. I don't know. I wonder why I'm so confused on that. I thought Scott told me that, but I don't think he'd get it wrong. So it must have been me. He's much more aware of what's going on with the con. Oh, that's really good news. I thought for sure we had a day, not 2 evenings essentially, or an evening and a morning. But this way we have a little bit more. Goodness. Okay, yeah, that would have been a long con. The long con. Those movies about the long con. But anyway, so yeah, it's Wednesday through Thursday, Wednesday through Monday, and then Thursday through Monday, and then the fall one is the one I think it's again early this year. Let me see if I can find out. It'll probably tell me. If you search on the web, they sometimes tell you this stuff. We actually have the thing on the website too. So the dates are November 13th through the 17th. So my birthday is right in the middle there, or near the end. That's fun. It's a great con, and the Regency is the Reunion Tower is a nice hotel. Actually, the one at the airport's nice too. It's just the airport one's a little more challenging because it's in the airport, so you have to. They do give you like access, so you don't have to pay the toll to go in, because it's the Dallas airport's a huge airport, and they have everything in inside there, so you have to pay tolls if you're passing through to drop somebody off. I mean, I think you get a little bit of leeway if you're just dropping somebody off quickly, but I in some ways I miss that hotel for the fall one as well, but the new one is just amazingly huge, and downtown's awesome. There's a ton of great places. They're just not all in walking distance. There's a really nice deli, which I don't even think we have a great. I mean, there's another place here in the valley that is a pretty good deli, supposedly. And I maybe once went a long time ago, but they have a pretty good one in Dallas, and that's walking distance. We do that one all the time, but it's of course tons of gamers in there because it's a good one, and it's a nice distance, and the food's nice. But they're great. So the tickets are on sale. I think there's still tickets available for the SpringCon. But there are tickets available there are no day passes for any of that, which is kind of a bummer because not everybody can stay the whole time, and it's not, hotels are not cheap. But the tickets are available for that, and then the downtown one, they're on sale now. They've been on sale since March, and I think we sold quite a few tickets for that one. It hasn't completely bounced back. We know people that just don't want to travel to the con. They're still nervous about it. Dave actually didn't go till this last one again. He had gone to 2019, was the last one he went to. And he did not want to deal with the non-masking stuff and all that. And I don't think he wears masks in public, but unless he's in a situation where you think he might need to. But flying, we do. We always wear now masks. I mean, we were always a little bit wary because of Nikki gets sick very easily on these trips. And since we've had the masks from flight and all that stuff, she has not gotten sick, which is a miracle. We actually had reduced that a bunch already by bringing a humidifier that you could, that you run in. It was a little thing that you would put a bottle of water on it. And that really let her voice, because, she would, for the longest time, she worked conventions for publishers, and it would just wear her voice out really fast. And then that really helped. And then now with the mask, she doesn't get sick. Now, we did get sick. All of us got sick after we visited Spiel the year before last. I think Annie was sick by the end of the con. And then I was talking to Scott, and I was like, I think my days are numbered here, because everybody was getting sick around me, and not wanting to do anything anymore and staying at home, and I was the only one. And of course, I think I got sick as we were leaving or going on the flight or whatever, and so I got to go home and feel terrible. But I would rather feel terrible at home. But it was pretty funny. I was 100% correct. See, now there's a little splotch there. This is a bummer. I should have caught that. So what I usually do, I don't have a ton of paint here though, is I do some blending to try to get it to disappear a little bit. Now, of course, I'm putting paint over the part that I am trying to cover, but I often can make it work. So he has, I don't think they're boots. I think those are pants. And I don't know what his shoes are. His shoes look like they might be leather, so maybe we paint them the same way. I don't have a ton of paint though, so I will mix it again, I guess. I saw a video recently about paints coming from Big Child Creatives. They're the people that did the sculpting and the painting of these minis. And I think, I haven't seen a Kickstarter for it yet, but Ninjon was doing a video about it. He picked up a set at Adepticon, and those look pretty, they're standard paints, they're not these contrast paints, which I really love the contrast paints and the speed paints. But I was intrigued that they were doing their own paints. I mean, Duncan Rhodes, I don't know if he instigated that. He probably did, but he worked with other people on those paints. And but they're supposed to be great. I have none. I kind of want certain paints, but we have a lot of them are not available yet. I think we have like the first wave still. Maybe we've gotten the second wave. Gosh, I'm really looking forward. Actually, now I'm getting excited about going to the con. I mean, I've been excited, but I'm really excited. And I'm excited we have an extra day. That I really misunderstood it. We get there Monday night, we have Tuesday during the day, and then we have to go over Wednesday night or afternoon. So that's not so bad. I still would prefer a few days. So I'm going to do the pants. So I did that on this one here. It doesn't quite look that different on the Punisher. So when you have black leather, it has a sheen, right? So that gives you a light bounce. And then when you do fabric, it doesn't do that. Now, this is, I painted with a darker paint. And it kind of looks it here, but what I will probably do is put an ultra matte paint, varnish, excuse me, on the shirt so that it looks more like fabric. And then I'll do I think this is the one I painted a long time ago. This is ultra matte. Now it is got a little bit of a sheen to it, probably from being handled so much, but it really works for fabrics. And so you kind of want that. You want that contrast. Now he's wearing a bluish shirt. My real problem is I tend to go to the same blues, and I really don't want to. I like this one. I don't use this one as much, so I'll use this one, Eldari Emerald. But yeah, we have so much to do. Nikki's making the maps for the con. She usually does those. And thankfully, they aren't being printed. They're going to have displays. You know, printed, and they just put them up on boards. Not that you handed them out. Although you can get access to them on the app. Or do we have, Tabletop Events has the app? I don't know. I mean, the map, and it's not an app, it's a website. But it's really maybe not the color, but let's go for it. Maybe more shaking. So she's working on those, but the good thing is they'll be on the board, so they don't have to be printed and mounted. They're going to go on the displays. Plus she's working on the video, and then I'm working on videos. I have a lot to, tomorrow's going to be a busy day. I'm kind of bummed. Not that Fridays are never easy for me. I always have this like dream. Oh, I was supposed to make more dark stuff. I'll do that in a bit. I have this dream that I will have a mellow Friday, but it never happens. This is way more green than blue. And it says it's Eldari Emerald. It's fine though. It'll be fun. It's a blue-green. Let's see here. One of the games we did play yesterday, though, which I want to be an episode relatively soon, is Skyrise. I guess that's delivering. We had seen it at the gathering. I think that's where somebody showed it to us. It had to be. And I had played, I think I mentioned this earlier, I'd played it, the original one, Metropolis. And this one was really a nice production, really nice. And they changed the game. I don't really remember the difference. I had asked Dave if he had played it. He's like, don't ask me. Nikki looked at I brought the game out after we were done, and she's like, oh yeah, I remember this. I'm like, yeah, we definitely played it. And at that time, almost any game we played, we would have been playing it with Dave. I mean, it's still mostly true, but at that time, definitely. And I bought that game. Rio Grande Games did it in the U.S. It was from Istari. That company's gone. I don't know if their first game was Kalis. I don't think it was. What was it? YS was their first game, maybe? I can't remember, but Kalis was pretty close. Gosh, man, that has me wondering. Let me go look. (2004) was East or whatever. So that was then. Let me see the other one. See all, wow, 92. Oh, that must be some expansions and stuff too. Agricola? No, that wasn't their first game. I need to sort this. My problem is they're by name, but I need to do them by year released. So that's the end of the run? No. Oh, I see. I'm on the last page. Or so 1982. Okay, but that's not the case. That was when they redid. Kaleidos was 94. Oh, those are ones that they redid. Taj Mahal, they redid it. Princess of Florence. So Is was the first one. Then Kalis in 2005. Then Mykonos, which I think we have. I do have it. I don't have Kalis. Oh, no, I do. How's that possible? We don't have Kalis. We have Kalis Magna Carta. Maybe I have it. Gosh, I hope that's not true. I didn't really care for it. It was a very popular game. No, I don't own it. I think it's in my collection because I rated it. I never owned it. I liked Kalis Magna Carta. I don't care. I'll leave that in there. But see, that's confusing. Although it doesn't count as owned. But it does count it as in the collection. That's a weird one. Anyway. So yeah, that was a popular game. I don't remember how Is. I don't know if I had played that one or not. That would have been pretty early in our hobby there. And we started playing with Dave's group in 2004. So 20 years ago. Holy cow. And I've said this many times, that when I met Dave, I was like, and the way he taught the games, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to play games with this guy all the time. And that is the way it's been. We played tons of games with Dave. And I actually sort of missed that group. It was a Wednesday night thing. Wednesday nights are terrible for me now, though. Usually I got to get the episode ready, or something about the episode ready. Most often it's the thumbnail. I like doing the thumbnails, but goodness gracious, they're hard. And sometimes. And that is a challenge. Did I get blue on his neck? It's a tattoo, right? Oof, kind of did. Now it's in his ear. What have I done? I mean, he's a vampire. I think I just put too much in that little seam there, and it kind of just wicked everywhere. You can't really see, I'm sorry. So what I'll probably do on the jacket is a satin varnish, and then the fabric will be a matte varnish. Blade will probably be satin. The blade, not blade. Okay, let's do the other shirt. That's probably enough paint for that. It looks pretty good. Little bit of a problem, little sloppiness. I wish I could break those down. I'm not a big time painting in sub-assemblies, but sometimes it's the best way to do it. And I wish sometimes these weren't assembled. Now, for ease of everybody else, I'm happy they're assembled because they, you can just go for the most part. You do need to clean them. The mold lines are not great. I've had a lot of troubles with them, and this one has something on it that collar. I didn't do a good job here on the collar. And nothing, for me anyway, nothing takes you out of the, I mean, come on, it's not suspension of disbelief, but nothing takes you out of it more than on the blade, more than the mold lines. So I try to avoid them if I can. Bye. That just flew off. This one is not as good at holding this size. And I have a bunch of these sized ones and one of these. I probably should get some more of these. I don't want them to fall either. I actually had one break fell on the hardish floor here and it popped out. That was Iron Man. That was this one here. And you can see I had to pin it in. It snapped right off. And you know, they glue these, but I think that one broke so the glue actually held. I think it was the plastic. Now these are not the newer plastic. They have been since the second run, the second wave, which was the X-Men related stuff. Those have been with a different type of plastic, a little bit more rigid, I believe, which is the way I love Games Workshop stuff. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, that's not the shot. I love the plastic that Games Workshop uses. I don't know if everybody loves that, but I like them. I find them easier to clean. I haven't had that much break on those either. That looks cool. How's this one doing? It's drying. Hey, I got blue on the sword there. I see it. It'll be okay. I might put a little bit of white or gray on there. Let's see here. I just don't want it to really stick out. And I'm planning on a thin wash on this, or a thin contrast paint. I really should stir this. And as you can see, they did not close. These bottles really drive me crazy. There's certain things about them that I love, and there are many things I just don't really care for. I saw they have some other, that I just got a tiny bit of the paint that I had on there just got wiped off, I think. Army Painter has they have a whole bunch of stuff for their Army. They're called War Paint. They used to be called Army Painter War Paints. They're now War Paint Fanatics. And they have a bunch of different sets. They have like a complete set that's $750, which I won't buy. I don't have room for them. It's 200 and something paints. But then they have smaller sets. They have a Most Wanted, which I don't know. They had a video, I think, of what's in there, and I probably should check it out. But I don't know I'll buy that either, because I think I don't know how much that one is. The Mega set is like $200, and I think the Mega set's around 50 paints. So yeah, they're not cheap. But I need regular acrylics. I do have a set of ones I've talked about many times that were the folks that used to make paints for Games Workshop several times, called HMG, I believe. Let's look. I think it's on these. No, it's the other paints, Coat d'Arms, HMG paints. So they made them. Then they went to a manufacturer in France. I don't know who that is. And then they came back to HMG, and then I think they took all their paints in-house, probably when the time of the contrast paints. And in some ways, I think it's actually improved things. So, do I use Black Templar or Black Legion for the pants? Oh, I'm supposed to send that off. Addresses and all kinds of things. Darn it. Some folks want us to look at a game, and it looks pretty good. It's similar. It's designed by Scott Brady and another person. We like Scott Brady's games. I think we really met them for the first time. I might have met him before the pandemic. I don't recall. But we met him and his wife for the first time, for real, a couple weeks back, and they're very nice. Scott had a long conversation with his wife Nicole. And we really love. I played Boop once. I like that one a lot. We want to do that on game night, date night. So those are finally coming. We've been talking about them for a year, and we just have had so many things to do. It's adding that other thing into the cycle is going to be a challenge. We won't be doing it every week, but we'll be doing it a lot of weeks, and it'll just be 2-player games. And I would love to have some other people play. You know, like another pair. We've talked about Candace and Aaron doing something for a long time when we were talking about bringing it back, and maybe that'll happen. Aaron is very busy though, so this chance that we have to film with him, since we leave on Tuesday, is pretty much it for the next month and a half or 2 months. And then of course the election's coming, so we probably won't get to see him. I'm really bummed. I would love to have him do more stuff with us, because I really miss playing games with him. I think the last thing we played was, and boy, that was a teach for him, was USS Vanguard, or ISS, was it USS Vanguard? I think it's ISS, which was cool. But man, that was, I kind of believe that was the only game we shot that day. And that is just not enough. I guess that's his fly there? Wow. The paint is pulling away from back in there, so I don't think I got enough varnish on it, or finish of primer, and then of course maybe I didn't clean it enough. They have, somebody was saying they thought it was a waste of time to clear the, to clean the miniature. I don't know about that. You know, they use release agents to get these things to come out of the mold, and I have a feeling that that would be bad news if you didn't clean them. I mean, I've cleaned them forever, so I've always cleaned the miniatures with like a toothbrush and soap. Wow, this is not dark enough. So I'll definitely be doing another coat, but I probably put too much contrast medium in there. It does look like it'll look different though. It looks bluer. I haven't really done an A/B, but I feel like Black Legion, which I think is a fantastic paint as well, is browner, like slightly browner. And this one's slightly bluer. I don't know if that's true. But just from my recollection. When this is thinned down, it definitely looks more like a black ink. Which I can't even recall I feel like black inks, well, they probably vary. Goodness, that's hard to see in there. Now, I don't feel you need to worry about it too much. It's not going to be that visible or visible at all. You just want to focus on the stuff that's really, I don't know, you know, some people obsess about that, and I'm one of those people that can obsess about it, but I'm trying to let it go. There's no reason. Rarely does anybody pick it up and turn it upside down and look at it, but some might. I don't know that I would on other person's miniatures. Okay, other pants. Did I get that right on his thigh? I don't think so. It's hard to see some of the details. I mean, this is not the most detailed plastic. Like, they're large details. They should be a little better than they are, but it's not terrible. Yeah. Okay. It looks like this is slightly better molded. At least it's more clear to me on this one. And that's one of the other things that you notice with these. You know, they're not as precision molded, and that may be partly to do with the plastic. I did notice today that the base game for Marvel United is like $17. It's a pretty good deal. 10 minis, some really good ones. I really love the Iron Man one. I really love the Black Widow and the Captain Marvel and the Captain America and Ant-Man, the Wasp. These are great, really great minis. Iron Man is in there. Ultron. Gosh, what's the character? Taskmaster. I don't know. I didn't know that one prior to seeing Black Widow. And I'm sure that's not what it was tied in with originally, but I don't know if that's really supposed to be his. It seems like it might be like his belt coming down, not his fly. Can't imagine they'd bother with a fly. I mean, that's always something when I'm painting minis, like trying to figure out what the things are supposed to be, you know? I mean, little pouches make sense all the time, but I'm painting this black over this, and it's already pretty. It's basically the primer. I did not get much white on there for the Zenithal highlight. Let's see how these look. Pretty good. They're a little blue. maybe I should have used the Black Legion. It's a different black, which is cool. You wouldn't. I was like, why do they need another black? Because I thought this one was a pretty good one, and I still think it's a good one. But it really does seem like maybe that's his belt. He's got a long belt thing hanging down, but it could be his fly. One good thing about painting multiples of something is it's very easy to switch gears and go to the other mini, right? You're not really switching gears like you would be if you're painting two different minis. I don't know, man, that is a very bright, that shirt's very bright. I'm gonna go with it though. Maybe put a blue wash over it just to see if it'll change its tone a little bit. Very cool. I am drinking the Dr. Pepper Zero Creamy Coconut. And when I first tried it, I say it tasted kind of like Coppertone to me. And I don't think Coppertone tastes like that, but the smell of Coppertone. But I now really like it. And of course, it's a limited edition thing, so it'll never, this will be it. And I'll never get to try it again. There's many sodas like that that I like that we can't get anymore. It's funny that they even do that kind of stuff. Very much looks like, I mean, it's absolutely good that I painted that blue. He looks a lot like the Punisher. Let me do another batch of that gray. I will not put in that because, let's see if it'll pop out. Nope, I have to clean it. So if you have a little bit in there, it just pops right out. I actually popped a bunch of, I do need to wash it. I keep trying to give Nick the other one of these that I got, Nick Murphy, and they're moving away, so he forgot it all. He forgot his hoodie and everything when he was here on Tuesday. Okay, that's closed. That is contrast Black Templar. So I put the Basilicon the way I did. Let me see if that Ripley Anna thing will go again. Nope. There we go. I think camera 2, there's like these, we have these little buttons here. Itchy ear there, sorry for that. And I think that those, why would that be different? I don't save it. Interesting. We don't go to Origins anymore, which I actually miss. Columbus is a nice town, particularly around there. There's a lot of great food. And we have friends there and stuff. I miss that one. But we just don't... The group that runs it, that's Gamma, they have like different folks running it. And not that that's a problem, but they would help us be there. They would... They felt that the people that were running it before felt it was good for us to be there and stream. We used to, you know, Dice Tower and BGG used to stream from there. And it, for me, it doesn't have as many releases, and I think that's the real reason why we kind of decided not to continue. They just don't have a ton of releases, but what they do have is a prototype alley where it's a bunch of things like coming to Kickstarter potentially and things like that. One of the ones that really knocked me out was a game called, gosh, was it? I don't think it was Jam Sumo, but it might have been, which we have that, and I bought that. But there was another thing, I think it was, we have the published version that was done by WizKids. What was that called? And it's just things. There was another game that was amazing that somebody did, and the one this karate one, gosh, what was that called? I need to figure that out. Was such an amazing like handmade prototype, and I think it was wood. I don't remember. Jam Sumo's confusing me because they kind of have some similar things going on. And we actually wanted to try to do it on the show, but we never did do it. We did get we bought a copy, which isn't we actually generally buy copies of games. One thing we do, which has been a little bit of a detriment to us lately, is we bring stuff from BGG Con, which we'll do again probably, because there will be some new games in there. And a lot of the time they're just not available. The games are not available for a while. And that's just a problem. We just have had far too many games that people can't get on the show lately. I mean, last week we specifically just did 2 to kind of get those games out. One of them was I mentioned earlier, was the silver and gold pyramids. We just couldn't, you can't get it easily. That one's even harder, at least. So when we put the Kabanga episode up, there was like 18 copies at one store, and then they, on Amazon, you know, a retailer, another retailer, not actually Amazon, and they sold out, and then they got more. So I don't know that. I'm pretty certain some of it was because of us, because they went down very quickly that day. But it's just a downer. Like, I don't know what's going on. I mentioned this recently. I asked Phil Walker Harding why they, if he knew why it hadn't been published in the States, and because in my opinion, it's the superior version, and I really love Silver and Gold. Rusty was very kind to give Deborah and Nikki and I a copy of that game. When he ordered some stuff from Germany, he ordered them all. And so that was great. Oh, I don't know why I'm taking that off. I am not done. And we all kind of do that. We gave Rusty a copy of Nana. Actually, Scott gave Rusty a copy of Nana. And then I think Mike actually bought a bunch of copies of Nana, and I bought a few from him to give to other people, because that one's like really hard to get. You can get Trio, and Trio's great. But it's just the art of Nana is way cute, and so we have both Trio and Nana. But I was very happy. I don't know. I friended the person on, and we've messaged back and forth a little bit. The person that was the artist on that one. I don't know if it's. I know that a lot of them do not want to. I think ultimately it's not that they don't want to have them available on the English versions of them, but they just it's probably just intimidating not knowing how to make that work, or maybe they don't want it, or they don't, or the people doing it in the other countries, because this one was, Trio was done in France, and they maybe just didn't want to do it, and then they had exclusive rights for the globe except for Japan or something like that. I am out of that gray again. Man, I do not make enough of it. So that is dry. Let me try a blue shade from GW. Drakenhof Nightshade. That's, oh, that sounds kind of purpley though, maybe. Let's see. I would love to go to one of the miniature cons. You know, the problem is it's a terrible time. The big one here in the United States is, I don't know when, I think the one in Las Vegas Open is in January, which is just, you know, we kind of want to take a break from travel. But the other one, Adepticon, wow, I guess I'd never opened this one. Wow, and that just popped off. Oh, I guess that's what the deal is. Wow. Adepticon is right when we have other things happening, so it's a terrible time. You know, maybe I pulled this off and it was just, it's a loose one. It's a loose. Let's just try it. That's pretty cool. They're shades, so this will be shiny. I'm not sure that this is a good idea now that I think about it. But you can knock down the intensity of the color by putting a shade that works on it, and that looks pretty good. It looks more like what I was thinking I was going to be doing. A little more blue. I don't know what this color really is. It's kind of a dark blue, but as I say, nightshade or something, that sounds like a vampire thing. Now it will darken even probably a little bit more, so maybe it'll be too much. That's neat. Eager to see how that turns out. But now I can put the medium. So the medium varnish. I use these varnishes. I really like them. I don't know if I'm getting through them fast enough because they just they're huge bottles. Ultra matte is the, of course, most matte. Matte varnish is mostly matte, and then satin varnish has a little bit of a sheen to it. I don't have their gloss. I imagine they have a gloss, but I have never. Maybe saw it at a store that had two different types of bottles. That might be. I might be thinking of the place I bought those is a place in Burbank, and I might be confusing what. So his glasses have like his sunglasses have like a blue glow to them. Should I use that blue? It's really not the blue, but maybe if I just thin it out a little bit. Put a little bit more contrast medium in. It seems like it's drying, so it might be too late. But anyway, so I bought them, and they actually have new bottles. And I feel like we went there I mean, it was the guy in the store was like, "I love your show." One of the people working there were like, "Wow," you know, because it's a real hobby store, and we don't. That happens to us, but not that. It's weird. Like, it mostly happens away from here. Although it does happen here. Our first time, of course, was with Dave, and we're like, oh my gosh, you know, guys like, I recognize you guys. And he goes, you're the game stuff. We thought it was Dave, because Dave was on a show. I mean, he's been on a lot of stuff, but he was on a show called Good Luck Charlie, which was a Disney show. And, because that's what he gets all the time, is people recognizing him from that. That's probably too intense, but whatever. That was one of the new John Wick pinball game. Really has a cool. Actually, let me put a little bit of contrast medium in here. Has a cool neon look to it, and it's pretty cool. I haven't seen it in real life yet, but it looked nice. Sorry, that's not in focus. You can't see what's going on here. Wow, that dried so fast. That is a problemo. I don't want the blue on his face. So one thing I recommend is, particularly on his face, I gotta tell you, because you don't want that to get messed up, is to put some varnish down on the skin so that you can't do what I just did. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on in this, which I don't know that I want to fiddle with. Goodness gracious, I keep getting it on his face. It's not very visible. It's not bright. I don't think the blue stuff is bright enough. So maybe I can make the black darker and you will see it better, but I do not know. But I also am not going to worry about it too much. Not in the shot. Hey, he's got, I think I did I do the other eyebrows? I remember commenting on it. I don't think I did the eyebrows on this one. Or I did and they're not too strong. They probably need to be stronger. Gosh, in my head it's still Wednesday. It is not Wednesday. He's just, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Wow, that's too wide. Might need to let that dry because it's just pooling up. I probably will put a little bit of white in that blue on top of it. Let that dry. Because it's very dark. I should have thinned it out more. I foolishly went with what I had. Goodness gracious, I'm just trying to make a mess. And these are huge. You shouldn't have any problems with this. You know, for miniatures, this is very big. Kind of, I mean, I did a pretty decent job on the, wow. On the wasp. Oh, that's pretty good. It makes it very narrow there. That's probably a better reflection or whatever's going on there. I thought I did that already. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Not perfect. What time is it? Well, not quite. Got a little more time. I do need to call my mom. That is not dark enough in between there, though. Before I get carried away. Let's do that. Wow, okay, it's dark on the top. It needs to be, and it's not painted at all. Wow, I think I need water on there. It's probably drying out. Yipes, too much paint. Oh, there's his ear. There's the glasses coming out behind his ear. I did not see that. Boy, that is terrible. I missed it. I guess that's sort of what's going on over there. It's on a seam, a mold line, so. I'm out of that gray. That looks pretty good. It's not great, but I'll probably put a little bit of white in there to change it up and maybe thin it out. So I have transparent white. Yeah, is it transparent white? Yeah. And it's an interesting paint. I might use some of that to thin it out a little bit and just give it a little bit of sheen or something to it. So let's try this one. put a little bit more contrast medium in there. Maybe make it a little less intense. Hey, thanks for the follow with a Serverov. I don't know the rest of that. 725. Hey, thanks for the follow. I think I might have put too much contrast medium in there now. Hey Chris, how you doing? Not in focus. That's pretty good. The brush seems like it's getting a little tired. I can sometimes bring these ones back. So these are all synthetic. I have some, I should start using the sable for the details like this. It might not be blue enough now. We'll see. I just painted his eyebrow black. I'm just gonna go with it. It looks a little more exciting that way anyway. It still looks brown-ish. Okay. Why did you make the jump from Colorado to California? Well, that was way when I was young. I grew up in Colorado, and my dad worked in the music business, and the people he was working with, that record label folded, but I don't know if that it folded when he probably did, while he was still there. The guy that was he was working with, production partner, came out here to work with the Eagles. So I didn't really grow up in Colorado. I was young there. But yeah, he came out to work with the Eagles, and my dad did not get along with Joe Walsh. So he went on and did something else. And that was kind of the last thing that guy did. His name was Bill Simzik. He did some other stuff, but he did like the last few Eagles albums up to like 80 something. And he must have done that before, though. I don't remember exactly how it worked out. But they did do a record. So there's a record label called Light in the Attic. And they did a compilation of artists on that label. Wow. Not one picture, they're all so the early pictures for this were not great. Anyway, so he worked for a record label called Tumbleweed, and he produced, I think he produced their first album that they released, maybe. And then he worked on their second album, and I don't know that he worked with other artists on that label. I was too young. But the weird thing is, I do remember things. My mom's like, when they were talking to my mom, because they referred to my mom because my dad passed away a long time ago. She had the recordings. I think she had the original masters for the first record, because my dad actually produced that record and I think paid for the production, or part of the production at least. So he had the masters, but the second one was done. They don't have those masters. Second album, same artist, different record. So the company that Tumbleweed was a subsidiary of Paramount, or was it? It was really Paramount, but I think they called it Yipes. I think it was called Transamerica at the time. Maybe even earlier than that. I don't know. But the label lasted a couple years and then it folded. But that company did a deal, and what was weird about it is I remembered things. My mom asked me about stuff, and I remember like looking at the artwork and things like that. And so she was knocked out at some of the stuff I remember, because she's like, I don't remember that. So we moved here, and then I've been here in California since, long time, 40 years, more than 40 years. And gosh, way more than 40 years. I've known Nikki now 30 years. We have been together a very long time. And so, I mean, I'm really kind of California. Goodness, probably too light. Maybe need a little more basilicanum. But yeah, I miss Colorado too. I have not. I sort of kept in touch with. I was pretty young. Kept in touch with some of my friends for a while, and then we just got too old. So friends of the family, one of the kids that was my age, they kept in touch forever, and we would talk occasionally, but that has been 30 years, and those folks, both of my friends' parents, have passed, so that is a long time ago. This might be too dark. But yeah, it is strange. There's things about Colorado that I miss. When we met Trey Parker, I was saying, oh, I actually grew up in Colorado, and and I had told him where, and his sister lived in that area. I'm not exactly sure. I know where Lakewood is, but I'm not exactly sure where he exactly grew up, because he went to school at Colorado University, I think, is Boulder, maybe. But it was fun. I think I've gotten to music I don't normally hear. How do you get your paint to stick to 3D prints? So you need to prime them, Trent. I've done it. Do I have an example here? I don't have a ton, but I have done several things. I don't think I have it right here. So you need to prime it. First of all, they have to be cured as best as possible. I mean, they need to be cured. And then if you prime it, Littleton, there we go. You see, there you go. But if you prime it, your paints will stick pretty good. I have not done that many. I've not done any figures, I don't think, that are resin printed. I can't remember. But I miss. So my brother and I, when we visited one time, we went to a concert out at Red Rocks, which was great. We just winged it, and it worked out really well, and we had a fun time, because that's a park, state park, and so we didn't have tickets, and we thought we could buy them there, and maybe you could, I don't know, but we were just trying to get in, and a couple that were following a band around that were actually, they were way fans of Erasure. We were seeing Depeche Mode and another band, and so they got us in, and we thankfully we talked to them, so we had knowledge of their work. So the parks people came, and they're like, park rangers, and they're like, oh, we know them, and this is how we end up meeting up, whatever, something like that. And thankfully we did get that together, and it was a fun show, and I hadn't been to Red Rock since I was little. I don't think they liked Depeche Mode as much as they liked Erasure, but they knew the guy from Erasure had been in that band, so that's why they went to see him. And they were very nice people. So I guess we sat by them. I don't remember that. But I think they had some other friends that were going to go, and they couldn't come. Now we had seen erasure before, so we talked to them about that. I actually should put the black on the bullets. It looks like these are, because I'm going to put like a metallic over that stuff, and it will, the dark will tie it in together. Somebody honks their horn. Hey, Jason Horner, how you doing? I missed in here, so not that you need to worry about it too much, but it is, I saw it and I'm like, oh wow. Didn't get any paint in there. They have these little straps on all these shoes. I'm not really sure what that is. Maybe they're Velcro ties for their shoes. How many from this series have I completed? Wow, a lot. I mean, I have, let's see what I have over here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have 18 or 19 more in the first series to do. And then I've got a lot of the second series to do, because I've only painted the very first 10 from the main box. I will get them done. I'm going to keep trying. I'm trying to get ahead so that I'm not, you know, we have a lot to do, and things like Gen Con is coming. So I produce the videos that we do for our how to plays and in focus videos, and so those are going to be hard to keep up on, because you know it does. Well, hopefully, yeah, it's actually not a bad thing to be busy with, but it is a lot to do. I way more than you think, because I'm not filming any of them, but I'm just managing the what we do have. You know, we've got Candace and the brothers Murph working on it, and Mike and Nick are moving to Sacramento, so it's going to be a little harder to do the stuff with them. but it'll be fine. Hey, the shirt looks pretty good with that Draken, what's it called? Tear the lid off again. Drakenhof Nightshade. It's not in focus. Lakewood is here in California, and I know where that's at too. But Littleton, yes. Now we've never met Matt Stone, but we met Trey a few times, and we still email, and we keep talking about meeting up. They have another South Park that they did. Goodbye to Obesity, I think, is coming up on the 24th. So I'll have to see what that is. But he was talking about trying to get together and play. That would be fun. Hopefully we'll get to do that again. Really a fun time. Can you show your first at your convenience? So yeah, I'll show you. Well, here's a few of them. This was number 4, maybe? And then let's see here. I got a bunch of them over here. Here's the Hulk. This might have been the first one. I think his skin is too shiny. I might redo it. I think I might have used the matte. Maybe I need to do the ultra matte. I don't know. But he's great. And then Iron Man was an early one. And he turned out pretty cool. And then I have moved him back over here. Captain America, different tone. This is where I started to do the chibis with dirty faces comment. This is an early one. These are all the first 10, and I painted them first. And she turned out great. I feel that the blue is probably, gosh, it may be the same. No, it can't be the same blue. And then here, Taskmaster, I was talking about that one earlier. But that one's cool. So I've done okay. I have improved. Because I'm painting, I knocked something down. I'm painting stuff that is not, oh, that's a miniature. Don't want that to fall. I'm painting stuff that I'm just not used to painting. And I'm also painting with contrast paints way more. Like when I started doing these, I'd only ever done the stuff in 2019 at Scott's place. That was these, gosh darn it, what are they called? Let's look them up. I keep meaning to know what they are. No problem, Circe. This was the first mini I painted with contrast paints. And you know, this is what I'm more used to. This is the kind of things I painted many times. And I think this is the first thing I painted, not with contrast paints, but with the precursor to that, which was, what is it? Gosh, what is that one called? I have that paint still. Gosh, what is it called? Is it this one? Night Haunt Gloom, yeah. I think so. It looks kind of green though, so I don't know. But I think so, and I was doing it, this was done the year before, so this is 2018. And then I did these. I think I painted most of these. I can't remember if I've given Scott his. I think I did. No, I gave him these. I had painted these afterwards, and I actually really liked the version that I did for him. I did them later than, not at the same time, right? And I really liked it. I think I used like a Hexwraith Flame maybe as the color. Maybe? I don't, it seems very bright, but that might have been the one. I mean, I definitely have a thing for the, this is the Achromatic Blue. I really love this paint. You can see it needs to be mixed up. And I use it for a lot of stuff. It's the one I tend to go to the most, and I'm trying to avoid doing that. But yeah, those are the first ones I did. How do the paints differ? So, contrast paints are translucent. They're not necessarily transparent. It really depends on the paint. They have different levels of, so like I just showed you here, there is some pigment in there at the bottom. This is the one I used earlier. Not all the colors have, like this, these are two not mixed up. You can see this has a lighter pigment underneath, this has none. This is a single pigment paint, so it's all red. This clearly has a couple of different things. The Basilicanum Gray it's very white when I haven't mixed it. You can see it's starting to settle. And so they have a different quality. They don't go on standard, like standard paints. I mean, they apply, but they settle, and they do the folds of the fabric and stuff like that as they settle. Then the standard acrylic paints, you know, they're opaque, generally. They're relatively opaque. And those go on, and you have to, number one, you usually have to thin them because they are most often a little too thick. And so then they become a little bit more transparent when you do that. But the contrast paints, you're painting it directly over these shades, the shaded, these Zenithal highlighted minis. And so, you know, the transparency of the paint is translucent, but they're generally sometimes pretty transparent. You see the shading pass through from the Zenithal undershading. And, you know, some of that looks pretty cool. Electra here has some interesting stuff going on. I don't know what I did with her hair there. I might have left it gray. I don't know. So yeah, you know, and then the shades are more like what they used to call inks. So that one I painted earlier, this one here, was very thin. Some of them, so for example, Hexwraith Flame, and this was called the technical paint. It was above an ink, but below an acrylic. So these have now become, so I have these exact same colors, not exactly the same quality. Let's find it. Oh, you know what? This is the color I used for Briar Queen Chill, I think. Something like this, because this is contrast paint. I didn't use that. I thought I bought that. Night Hot Gloom. Okay, so they look similar, but they are slightly different, and they haven't been shaken up. Let's shake them both up so you can see. So contrast paints, as I said before, they're like $8 in the United States, which isn't too bad. I mean, I've mentioned this many times. Most of these bottles are my original bottles that I bought. The other color that I really love that I've used a lot that was also on this mini here, so that orange is really this Iondan yellow. This is my second bottle of this because I knocked it over, but I did use like more than half of the other bottle. So it's one of my other favorite colors and one of the earliest purchases. Let's get this shake up a little more. But yeah, they made a change a few years back now. Well, actually, yeah, about 2 years, maybe a year and a half ago, where they converted a lot of these paints to, what did I do with that thing? Oh, it's right there. They turned these to contrast. They changed their shades. So this is Nuln Oil. This is a shade, essentially an ink. So it doesn't have a lot of pigment, but it has the tint. But But you can see these are slightly different. They did change it a little bit. I still have a lot of the technical paint. And the other downer is you know, they drop the size. So all of them are now, I think these are 18 milliliters. Yeah, 18. This was 24. So, you know, it's not that big of a deal, but it is, I feel like they were kind of the same price for that. But yeah, let's see what the Hex-Ray Flame looks like. I feel it's not, so here you go. Contrast Hex-Ray Flame. They look close. Neither of these are shaken. But I have gotten to really enjoy the contrast paints. I mean, I've shown this many times. These are just the ones that are sitting here, but this is the one that was painted more in the traditional manner with acrylic paints. And this was a long time. I am not a fast painter. I mean, it wasn't that long. I think I painted in the evenings for about a week. So probably 10, 12 hours, you know, and that's a long time. I mean, they look great. I really want to see the original ones I painted. I'm going to maybe have Scott pull this out. Because I originally did all of them, and then I never finished them all. I have a few more in the house that are either painted or mostly painted, but there's like 5 or 6 units or something like that, at least. And they, yeah, you see, these are slightly different. And so they basically just turned, I don't know if they changed they must have changed the formulation slightly, so it is a different, slightly different consistency, but you know, they're great. The new ones are really good, actually, still. But that one goes back up here. So yeah, you need sort of a mix, and I have used, like I showed earlier, previously, this is basically the orange I used from Speed Paints on this miniature. This is actually 2.0. This originally, I painted this in the orange 1.0. Now, these were zenithal highlighted. I don't really remember painting them in Germany, but I must have done it. I think I did it without a mask, which was the scary part. I don't like to airbrush without a mask, unless I'm out in the open. Or I have like behind me I have a spray booth, and I use that. So these are similar. They work pretty much the same, and I really love this color. Even though this color here might be the same or similar. Hey, that's the call my mom thing, so it's about time I should get done. Yeah, I mean, they don't look the same at all, but they seem like they would be the same on the Mini. At the time, nobody had orange when we were painting these at a paint day in Bonn, Germany. But a friend of his, she lent me her orange, and she needed it too. So I was kind of bummed. I was trying to like move quickly on it so that I would, and not use it up. They do go a long way, but she was very nice to loan me that and let me use it, and I really liked it. So their work similarly. Now this is the Aethermatic. That's this color again. I use it a lot. And the funny thing is, I thought I was like, oh, I like this. I'll do orange and blah blah blah. There's a, let's see here. I have a thing called the Hearthkin. I bought this set, which I really didn't need. But I thought, I'm going to do this orange, and you know, this is the blue is different, but it wasn't like it was that different. And I didn't even realize they were painting them orange. I think I'd seen them as yellow or something like that. But you know, this is very common nowadays, the orange and the blue thing in color schemes. But yeah, I didn't really need this set. I bought it on eBay, I think, for a pretty good price, but I surely didn't need more. I would kind of like some other minis from that range, but maybe when we go to Germany this year, I will buy some. Oops, hey, knocked another mini down. I hope that's the only one. Boy, what did I do here? Why is that falling down more easily? Nope, not that way. But yeah, it's fun. I really love painting them. I think they do most miniatures nowadays are pretty solid, like very good quality. I should put this over here. I don't want to mess this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, those did not fall. I didn't lose one. I'm a little nervous about that. I've got minis all over the place. Anyway, it's interesting per medium. Yeah, they're cool. I really need more standard acrylics just because the opaque paints have a quality that, I mean, I'm using opaque paints to do the undercoating. And then I'm just doing the transparent paints essentially over that. But I feel they look, you know, the results are quick. I basically painted the bulk. I did the face previously, but I painted the bulk of these, both of these today, right? If I gave myself another hour, I'd probably be done with them completely. And I think you get really nice results. I mean, I did this guy in no time at all. Now, I had painted one before, so I had made the decisions already and I didn't have to worry about it. And this one was quick too, you know, she was quick. So, and these were quick. I did these pretty quick also in about 2.5 hours, I would say. I mean, you know, this is me talking and stuff and interrupting, so I really don't think I'm doing as good a job, quick a job as I could do, but these guys look pretty great. Let's see if we can get them to focus this darn thing underneath. These look pretty great. I need to get the sword done. I need to get the spike done. I don't know if it's a metal spike or a wooden spike. Since he's killing vampires, it's got to be a wooden spike, right? I don't really know the story, even though I've seen the movie. I don't know if it really goes into it, but I don't know the story about Blade and what his... I know I saw the movie, I just don't remember. I do remember it had Chris Christopherson. That was kind of fun. Man, my hair, it's out of control. It's out of control! I'm trying to cut. So let's see who we can raid if there's somebody going today. Maybe, I don't know if she streams on Thursday. Maybe Bonzinator. Let's see. Wow, am I not on that thing? I think I'm on the regular stream. Nope. Creator dashboard. Maybe I'm on that, I don't know. Something's not going well here. Hey, there's reloading. Now let's go to Stream Manager. So the YouTube folks won't be able to jump over, unfortunately. I do love this part of the raids are awesome. I like YouTube a little bit better though. They're better about letting people know. So let's see what we got here. Hey, there's Bonds, and she's playing a board game. So she's been going 2.5 hours, but say hello for me. And let's see if we can get over there. And if you want to join in, just click through. She's got like 60 some people watching. That's pretty great. So let's start the raid. So yeah, click on through if you want to go. And thanks for joining me. We won't be back for a few weeks, a little over. I'll be painting. So 2 weeks from today, I'll be painting because we have Derek couldn't actually do the. He can't do the stream. So anyway, so bye to everybody on Twitch. Take care, and I'll say, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody. And now for the YouTube folks. Thanks for joining me. And I hope you had a little bit of fun. Okay, so rating, what it is we can see the other streams going. We can see, and you know, we follow some people, and so what we do is we click through, and then it just joins in, and then they get a big announcement that they're being rated. You hear some of the stuff we've had. You might have seen them because we get the notifications for Twitch, but we just don't have the tools. You know, when you're watching it on YouTube. But the reason why we love having people watch on YouTube because many people don't get to know us. They know us, but they didn't know we live stream, and so we just decided to start doing it on both. And I think it's been great. You guys on YouTube have been super chatty, which is awesome. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you all have a great weekend. It is actually going to be the weekend soon, and hope to see you again. I'll be back again in 2 weeks, and then I guess we won't for 3 weeks. It'll be before we actually do a regular game night again. So you take care as well, and thanks for joining me. Bye, everybody.